watching Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerantz. Thank you so much for joining us again. Our guest is Lawrence Rosenblum. He's a professor at the University of California at Riverside, but much more importantly, he has written a remarkable book. It has just hit the bookstores. It's called See What I Am Saying. Sounds like a syntax error, but it's not. Explain to me what your book's focus is.
Well, the last 10 years of perceptual psychology research has just been a fascinating time. And it's showing that we have perceptual skills that we never knew we had before. And I thought it was time for everybody to know about this.
Okay, so let's talk about it. You know, we all presume that cats have a great sense of sight and dogs have a great sense of smell, but we're actually not that far behind them.
No, we're not. It seems that we can do things like animals can do. We can echolocate like bats to a degree.
Come on, how can we echolocate?
We echolocate well enough so we can actually go mountain biking or hiking. These are individuals who've been blind for some time, who've had practice at it, but they do these things. I've gone biking with them and they're just remarkable. As it turns out though, this is something we all can do. And
it doesn't mean that you had to have lost a sense to improve your 5 senses. People who have not lost a sense can improve their perceptual skills.
Absolutely, yeah. In the very beginning of the book, I actually teach the reader how to echolocate. And we find that people can do this within 10 minutes. They're blindfolded, they listen to the reflections of their own sounds, and they can walk to a wall and stop before they hit it.
Let's talk about the sense of smell. I go through life smelling things, and it's just these weird odors come at me. And as I look at your book, I didn't realize the extent to which smell is such a dominant sense and scent. Talk to us about the importance of smell.
Well, I think we have an experience that we do smell things, and then our noses are at rest for a little while, and then we smell something else. But the truth of it is, we're smelling things all the time, and our brain is making use of that smell. And we're smelling things like each other and each other's genetic makeup and their relatedness, a person's relatedness to us. And we're smelling fear to some degree. Now, these are all very subtle things, but there is research now showing that these unconscious scents can have influences on our behavior.
Let's talk about how we can improve our senses. I want to become the $6 million man. I want to have, you know, an extreme sense, be it sight or sound or whatever it is. In the simplest sense, what can we do to improve our senses?
Well, it really comes down to practice. Yes, these individuals who've lost senses have compensation, but this is stuff we can all do. So in the book I talk about a master sommelier who has learned to be able to taste the grape and vintage and the vineyard of the wine just by tasting. And a lot of this is explicit knowledge. He does book reading and studying, but a lot of it's just practice tasting, and this is stuff we all can learn.
But there is no doubt, based upon your research and the contents of your book, that there are skills, there are exercises that we can engage in that will improve our senses. That's undeniable.
Absolutely, in very specific ways.
I want to talk about what some people call a 6th sense, which you discuss in your book. And I don't want to so much look at it as being psychic, but more an intuition. Talk to me about that sense.
Yeah, I think that a lot of what we call intuition or 6th sense really comes down to the sort of perceptual information that is getting into our brain but that we don't have an awareness of. So maybe having a sense about a person and being likable or unlikable has to do with the way that we're picking up on their body language and the way they're imitating us, and maybe even in the way they smell to some degree.
But is that based upon the baggage that you bring? And I don't use that term negatively, but just you come with a set, with a table, a tabla, if you know what I'm saying. Is that how that works?
Yeah, to some degree, our experience plays a role in how our brains might interpret this, but this is something that's deep inside of us and comes from our animal origins as well.
The book is called See What I'm Saying. It's by Professor Lawrence Rosenblum. It's a very interesting read. I urge you to get it. It just hit bookstores. I'm Brad Pomerantz. Thanks for watching Local Edition.
25, code 6, 105 North Avenue, 52.
You failed to signal your turn. You didn't come to a complete stop, and your left tail light is out.
That's 3 things together. So it's cheaper, right? Like the charter bundle. Digital cable, phone, and high-speed internet all together for less. You know, bundling.
I don't think the laws of bundling apply.
Could they, though?
Bring your home to life and save big with the Charter Bundle. Call today.